Good morning, and welcome to Tech News Network. I'm your host, Carlton, and today I'm joined by special guest Larissa Leiden, who is a student at Cal Poly University in San Luis Obispo. She has some interesting information for us about the application of virtual reality technology. Larissa?
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Carlton, for having me on the show today. As he mentioned, my name is Larissa, and I'm a student at Cal Poly studying software engineering. And today I would like to talk to you all about virtual reality for mental health. Now, I think we can all agree that mental health is a huge trend in our world today, and rightly so. More than ever, people are being affected by mental health disorders like anxiety and depression. And as someone who was diagnosed with anxiety last year, it's something that's personally affected me too. So since I'm studying software engineering, I would really like to use my skills to help solve this crisis.
So, I thought virtual reality was really only used for gaming.
Well, see, that's the stigma. A lot of the hype around virtual reality right now is gaming centric. But I've done some research that has shown that virtual reality could potentially be used to also treat mental health illnesses. There are a lot of other uses for virtual reality than we might imagine right now.
It's very interesting. So, how does it work?
Well, virtual reality is great for a certain type of therapy called exposure therapy. Now, you might be wondering, what is exposure therapy? Well, exposure therapy is a type of behavioral therapy that is used to treat anxiety disorders by putting the patient in a real world situation that triggers their anxiety. But in the case of virtual reality, the psychiatrist would create a controlled virtual environment that would subject the patient to their trigger anxiety. And what happens is that over time, the patient is able to face that threatening condition with less anxiety.
So, that sounds like it would be very scary to people that are facing anxiety. What would it be like for them? Why would they be incentivized to do something like this?
Well, this is where we can put the gaming side of virtual reality to use. You could create incentives like levels and positive rewards that actually encourage people to use the treatment. And it would seem more like a game that's enjoyable versus something that they should be scared of.
So, how would this be effective at treating people that have these disorders?
Well, the really cool thing is that virtual reality is extremely immersive. The headset allows you to have a 360-degree view of a 3D world that you can actually interact with. And so psychiatrists are able to create a very realistic environment that can model something that a patient is extremely afraid of. And so this allows them to learn to interact with their fear over time and face their fear and eventually realize that it's not as scary as they might have seemed and actually decreases their level of anxiety with a certain trigger.
It's very interesting. So, what are the potential societal impacts of using virtual reality in this manner?
Well, a really sad thing is that according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the US,
Wow.
and it affects more than 40 million people, which is 18% of the population.
That's insane.
And the really unfortunate thing about this situation is that only 37% of the population diagnosed with anxiety disorders actually seeks treatment. That's horrible because these diseases are extremely treatable. It's not something that these people have to endure for the rest of their lives. It's something that can get better. But a lot of the times, it's very expensive and it's very scary, and people aren't incentivized to get this treatment. But I really think that virtual reality is a new treatment that could incentivize people to finally take back their lives because it can actually decrease the amount of time that is needed for the treatment since it's so effective at immersing them in that environment. So it's actually less costly for the patient and it's more enjoyable than previous forms of treatment.
Wow, it really sounds like a great way to expose people to the environments that trigger their anxiety without actually putting them in those situations.
Exactly. And as a special thing today, I actually have a headset with me so you can try it.
Wow.
So here you go. You're just going to put
Okay.
it on.
So, put it on like this.
Yep, exactly like that.
Oh, wow.
How does that look?
That's incredible. It's like it feels like I'm really there.
Exactly, and that's how the therapy works. It makes the patient feel like they're actually interacting with their anxiety trigger.
I can really see how this could be effective at simulating real-world scenarios.
Exactly.
Well, Larissa, thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure learning about this new application for this already popular technology.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And now I will turn it over to Cole with the weather.